Now I look at putting as a little bit different than most people do. Anything to me that is uphill, I can take a run at it. Anything again that's downhill, my percentage of making that putt is very poor. The lag putt to me was always the best to learn because it gets you around the hole most of the time. Now one of the most difficult things in putting is to stay down with the putt. Most people will not do that. And what I mean by that, let me just show you a little technique that I use. I try to put two golf balls together like this here and try to get my club as level as possible going through the ball. Whichever way you stand, there is no set rule, and I don't like people to say that you have to have a set rule in order to putt. You don't putt. Once we move, we have a problem, especially if we're going uphill, downhill. That is judgment. What I like to try to do is, when I step over a putt, everything doesn't have to be perfect. But what I try to do is keep the club face, the putter face, as open as possible and straight. I'm not one that has to go back a long distance in order for the club face to go forward. You want to try to keep the club face as straight as possible when we putt. My whole theory in putting is I like to try to get the ball a foot from the hole, either side, front or back. That gives me about a 4-foot radius that I'm able to make the next putt. I like to look at it this way. If I had 36 putts around, which would be 2 putts in each hole, that would be a pretty good round. What we like to try to do is, again, 34, 33, 35 putts, anything to that nature we're going to be very, very good at. It also lowers the score, and that's what we're trying for. The ideal thing is to lower the score as we get better at this game. But there is little tricks to it. The main trick for me is to stay over the ball. In other words, when you're putting, you do not want the club to come in to the left. If it comes into the left, you are going to pull the putt. So what we try to do is club faces straight, try to lower the shoulders and just relax your shoulders as much as possible. Any tension in the shoulders will either pull or push a putt. So it's a very difficult thing to relax because, again, everybody is trying to make that putt. But there are some putts that you're not going to make. It's just impossible to make. So what we try to do, or what I try to do mainly, is to get it close enough that I don't have a tough putt on my second putt. Reading putts, again, is a different thing. Each golf course that you play, there'll be a little bit different as far as the green texture. In other words, some balls are going to roll very, very fast. Some days the green is going to be very, very slow. So as you adjust, the first couple of holes, you're adjusting to the speed of the greens. And that's one of the main things that especially the professionals use. It takes them a few holes, or it takes them a round in order to adjust to the speed of a green. That is probably the most difficult part of putting. But if you see most amateurs putt, most of the amateurs will come up, or they'll pick up, they'll get nervous, and they'll move a little bit too fast. What I mean by picking up is when they strike the ball, as soon as they strike the ball, here, they come up. They pick their body up. So as soon as the body comes up, that club face is going in a different direction. It's either going to the left or it's pushing to the right, which is what we do not want to do. We would like to stay over the ball as quiet as possible and try to keep that club face as firm as possible. Everything going to the hole or to a spot on the green. When I look at a green, I am not so much looking at the hole all the time. And that might seem like a funny thing to say, but I am looking at a spot. If you notice, every putt that you hit is going to go straight to a certain spot, and then it's either going to move to the left or to the right. And this is things that we have to determine as we go along. The more times that you play a golf facility or a golf course that you like, the better you are at reading greens. One of the toughest things in golf today is to read a green. And if we're fortunate enough to be able to play with somebody that is a member of the club or has played that club a long period of time, it's so much easier because they will know which way the ball moves. And that's one of the toughest things in golf is putting.